Welcome back. In this video we will walk through a straightforward Python program. In the beginning I will give you an overview of what I plan to cover, then I will switch over to Python idle editor, walk you through the script and then run the program in Python shell. At the end, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. Now let's begin. For this Python program, the purpose is to develop a function to calculate the factorial of any number using Python's for loop structure. I will also show how to use Python's built-in math module to calculate factorial. The for loop structure explicitly uses a loop counter. The initial value and the final value of the loop counter are specified. The for loop is the most useful when the number of times that the loop is carried out is known in advance. On every iteration, the loop counter is automatically increment. The last time through the loop counter reaches its final value and the loop terminates. The for loop is similar to the while loop in that the condition is evaluated before carrying out the operations in the repeat loop. In Python, the simple use of the for statement uses function range. The first, last, and the increment values of the loop counter are specified. The last value specified is not really included in one of the values of the loop counter. The increment is optional. If not included, its value is 1. Using the for loop construct of the repetition structure, the algorithm for the summation of input data can be defined in a relatively straightforward manner. The number of data inputs from the input device is included at the beginning of the algorithm. The input value is added to the variable sum only if the value entered is greater than 0. In mathematics, factorial is defined as the product of all positive integers less than or equal to a given positive integer and denoted by that integer and an exclamation point. For example, factorial 5 means 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. Factorial 0 is defined as equal to 1. Factorials are commonly encountered in the evaluation of permutations and combinations and in the coefficients of terms of binomial expansions. Now, let's open up the Python idle editor and develop a function to calculate the factorial of any number using Python's for loop structure. First, start out by putting identification information for the Python file enclosed by 3 quotations. For the program file name, let's title it factorial.py. Then the author information, and for that, I'll put my name Lewis. Next the date, which is August 29, 2022, and lastly I'll put a short description of the program. This program computes the factorial of a number using a for loop. This program also calculates the factorial of a value using the math module. First, let's import the math module as I also want to compute factorial using Python's built-in function. Type import math and press enter. Next, let's work on our factorial function that will use the for loop. Type def fact, open parenthesis, n, close parenthesis, colon, and press enter. Now we will type a short description of what the function executes. Start out by typing 3 quotation marks followed by the description that says this function computes factorial using a for loop, press enter and close with 3 quotation marks, then press enter again. Next, we will set x equal to 1, press enter. Prior to the for loop, we need an if statement. Type if n greater than 0, colon, and press enter. Now, it's time to define the for loop. Type for n in range, open parenthesis, n, comma, 1, comma, -1 close parenthesis, colon, and press enter. Next, type x equals x times n and press enter. Type return x and press enter. Now, elif n double equals 0, colon and press enter. Type return 1 and press enter. Then type else, colon, press enter, and type return -1. Next, to find the factorial of a variable, we need an input statement. Type m equals int, open parenthesis, input, open parenthesis, quotation, the statement, enter an integer to compute factorial, colon, close quotation, close the parenthesis twice as there are 2 preceding opening parentheses, then press enter. Since the number to be input is an integer, therefore we define the data type as int. The data type int, for integer is a whole number, positive or negative, without decimals of unlimited length. The input statement reads a value of a variable from the input device, in this case, the keyboard. This will display the string literal enter an integer to compute factorial. To call this function when we enter the value of variable m after running the module, type factorial m equals, in fact, open parenthesis, m, close parenthesis and press enter. Next, we need a print statement, type print, open parenthesis, quotation, the statement the factorial equals, colon, close quotation, comma, factorial m, close the parenthesis, and press enter. The print function prints the specified message to the screen, or other standard output device. The message can be a string, or any other object. The object will be converted into a string before being written to the screen. As previously mentioned, I also want to compute factorial using Python's built-in math module. We need another input statement. Type number equals int, open parenthesis, input, open parenthesis, quotation, the statement, enter a number to calculate factorial using Python math module, colon, close quotation, close the parenthesis twice as there are two preceding opening parentheses, then press enter. And now for the print statement, type print, open parenthesis, f, quotation, the statement, the factorial value of, open curly bracket, number, close curly bracket, equals, colon, close quotation, comma math.factorial, open parenthesis, number, and close the parenthesis twice as there are two preceding opening parentheses. The f preceding the print statement means formatted string literals and it's new in Python 3.6. It is a way to format your string that is more readable and fast. The word number embedded in curly brackets will show the number we computed the factorial based on. Now, let's run the module and confirm our for loop to calculate factorial works as expected. In the Python idle editor header, click Run, then click Run Module. After the idle shell opens, type 5. As expected, based on the for loop code we input, Python returns the factorial equals 120. For the math module case, let's also input 5, as expected. The math module also returns the factorial value of 5 equals 120. Thank you for watching my video. If you've enjoyed this video and found it informative, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos to YouTube. I'll see you next week with a new Python video. Until next time, take care.